Hi, my name is Michael Bigham, CEO KNCN Technologies. Of course, you guys already know, you've watched my videos. But I wanted to talk to you today about my heart, about the change that God has made in my life, and the things that I was blinded by that I couldn't recognize, and the things that I have been able to see now and understand because of having an epiphany. I wanted to explain to you guys that the psychological medications that people are so persuaded to take can literally stop an epiphany from occurring in a person's life. The things that have meaning for them, that they acknowledge through what they see or hear or understand, can simply give them desire. It can give them motivation. It can give them encouragement. It can give them all the good qualities that God wants to provide the person with. And having an epiphany means that when you know something, it gives you deep meaning. It gives you a deep purpose in life. And what these drugs do is they make a person feel like they want to commit suicide, because it prevents them from having that deep meaning that their life has meaning to them. It causes suicidal tendencies, the medications, the depressants, the neuroleptics, the antipsychotics. Really, they're not antipsychotics, they're pro-psychotic. They cause psychosis. But I wanted to explain to you my story. This is at the end of my writings on one of my documents, and it's entitled Bible Quote. I was lost, but now I'm found. I was blind, but now I see. To me, this means I was lost because of living in fear's lies. This led me to being blinded because I chose to listen and acknowledge its wavering immoralities, which led me to lose the ability to recognize the healing power of love. Love overpowered these fears, and because I chose to acknowledge I chose to fight for its healing power. This became a reoccurring epiphany when times became rough. In moments where I was questioned or challenged by others for my truthfulness, I took the time to step back and acknowledge God's voice. This led me to become reassured of the truth. So what could have led to becoming blinded and lost all over again only led to confidence and empowerment. This is because I recognized how important love is. Because of how I recognized how I was changing my overall attitude towards life, people, and myself. When I recognized that I was forgiven, I recognized I was loved. This gave me the desire to be tolerant of others, which then led to being able to love others, and I became more understanding of their pains and beliefs. I recognized I was no different because I realized where they are, I was. But I couldn't have empathy unless I could surrender to love. When I did, I realized love wasn't compelling a change through manipulation, but allowing me to have control in choosing to allow it to heal my brokenness. I recognized how important others were to God, and my desire to help them heal overpowered the fears of rejection and being hurt all over again. I chose to love because love changed me. Love opened my eyes and gave me confidence. This is why I am not afraid of the outcome of my choice to take my case to the Supreme Court. Because love gave me hope, and love helped me understand what has occurred in my case. This led me to acknowledge that if this has happened to me, so it has happened to everyone on these drugs. I am doing this because of love and the power it has to change your views. I am not judging anyone. We all make mistakes. I am choosing to give others hope. Will you allow hope and love to drive a force of change? This is what I am asking. I am no longer on psychiatric medications, and I found out that my condition is medical and neurological in nature. I have 3 conditions pertaining to family history. High-functioning autism, prediabetes, and lupus. These conditions can be treated with a proper balance of food, salt, sugars, and proteins. These can help balance my mood, irritability, intolerance, frustrations, and impatience with others. My autism, lupus, diabetes, and their imbalances are why I get irritable so easily. All 3 affect me neurologically, emotionally, and my choices in how I respond. So can you come to a point of agreement with me that my ideologies are not what mental health originally thought? I was never paranoid. I was cautious of their intentions because I understood my own body and recognized I had been misdiagnosed. But I couldn't have the desire to reach out to find out the truth until I was off the drugs, not sedated, not confused, self-aware, and motivated through being able to have an epiphany. So I wanted to share that with you guys today because many people have been affected this way by the government and by the system and by the desire for the government to have control of people's choices and people's lives and to make the public dependent on them. And really what this is it causes confusion. It causes the public and the people and the citizens of America and many other countries not to be so self-aware that they recognize what's being done to them. They have this false trust in the government. And it's really driven by confusion and deception and misleading understandings in the media. You can't be in a position to trust the government when they want control of you chemically. That chemical control is slavery. We've created laws in our country that abolish slavery. Lincoln, back in the 1800s, abolished physical slavery. We can apply the same laws of physical slavery to chemical slavery. Why? Because it is physical slavery. It's the same thing. It's just mental and cognitive slavery. It still affects the body. Whether a person is physically bound by chains or physically bound by a chemical substance and having no control over making their own decisions, by affecting that dynamic distribution, it's still slavery. Okay? So, America just found another way through Hitler's writings to bring in slavery and to make you not aware of it, that you're a slave. So, we can bring this to the government, and I do have an appeal case right now, or not appeal case, but it's a court case in the Supreme Court. The ADC has already granted me permission and paying for my Supreme Court case regarding a past conviction that I had in 2000. Okay, I wasn't responsible for it because it made me incompetent and it made me incoherent, not able to understand while I was in court what was going on and why I had done what I had done. See, I was never bipolar. I was never schizophrenic. I was never, ever those things. I was never ADHD, hyperactivity attention deficit disorder. I was never those things. The medications were causing it. Were causing my behavior to be worse. Through my lupus, through my diabetes, and through my autism. I had no impatience. I had none of those things. You know, I was very impatient, actually, to tell you the truth, but I was not patient with people. I became angry and agitated. Nobody understood what was going on with me when I was a child, in many ways because the drugs were causing it, and they thought the drugs could make me better. So they kept changing dosages, changing drugs, lithium, risperidol, Milleril, Klonopin, all these different medications, Abilify, Geodone. I was on tons of medications, and they kept switching, changing the doses, back and forth on the same drugs. I was on valproic acid. I was on Depakote. None of those drugs helped me. But now you can see a difference in my ability to be able to socialize and not feel so fearful. And if you look at my past videos when I was on Risperidol Consta, there were times where I would get so fearful that I couldn't sit down and have that confidence enough to be able to explain myself. My videos are so much more improved now because I'm not living in fear. I'm confident. And that's just, that's a part of my life. It's a part of my life that I had to overcome, was that fear. And once I found out by reading the Bible that there is no fear in love, so if I know I'm loved, I don't have to fear the consequences of what's coming to me. I don't. Because helping other people and being an advocate for them and standing up for other people is standing up for myself. Not just looking at myself. This isn't about money. Going to court, suing the system. Because I do have another case with Sanders, Phillips, and Grossman. I have another case with them on Risperidol Consta, which it gave me gynecomastia. So I've already given my writings to Sanders, Phillips, and Grossman regarding that. But I've also talked to them, and they said they're basically handling my situation with my writings here. My writings that I've been reading to you. There's a lot more to it. There's the consequences of the psychoactive effects being able to create criminal behavior in people. So I've already written on that, and I've given that to them. So not just the gynecomastia, but the case when it's pertaining to my lupus, and when it's pertaining to the Risperidol Consta and the lithium causing me to be pre-diabetic. There are places out there that are taking people to court, the pharmaceutical companies. And if you can take the pharmaceutical companies to court, you can also take the government to court. I don't care the consequences of what they can do to me. I don't care. I'm not afraid of them. What I'm afraid of is disregarding God and what He can do to me if I don't listen, if I don't have faith, if I don't trust, if I choose to fear. That's what I have. The fear of God is put in me. The fear of God is put in me. If I don't choose to listen and do as God asked me to do, and try to help His people. Try to help those who have been helpless because of the system. So this is Michael James Bigham. You all have a wonderful day. God bless you. And if you want, reach out to me by email. You got my email. You got my numbers. You got all that stuff. So just reach out to me. And if you want a part of this and you're not afraid of the system, just let me know. Michael James Bigham, CEO, KNCN Technologies. You all have a wonderful day. God bless you. Bye.